Well, Toronto has a red-hot housing market. Mark McLean is the president of TREB, Toronto Real Estate Board, joins me right now because we had a story this morning that, well, let's just switch it over there, that Toronto's still hot, but Hamilton's becoming hot because Toronto's too hot.
You know, it's not that it's too hot. I think that people recognize that if they can't get into a market or they're looking for a particular house style, they're moving outside because their budget may not align with what they're looking for in the city.
I mean, I'm always stunned by the price of houses in Toronto. I mean, if you're up there in the millions, that's one thing. But to look at a starter home, what used to be known as a starter home, that was probably built for $2,000 eons ago, and now it's $750,000. So what's going on with this? How are people still affording it, Mark?
Well, I think that, you know, let's look at what's happening in the city. We're looking at a city that is growing exponentially. And why is that? I mean, it's happening because we are sort of approaching that alpha city status where houses are, where the city is growing as a result of the banks that are here, the headquarters of the legal firms, accounting firms, hospitals, you know, universities.
So high earners.
High earners coming to the city, and then because we've got such great infrastructure in terms of those employers, we keep attracting the best people. And of course, we have to pay them a lot of money, and so they're the ones that are coming into the city and taking up all the homes. So
that is, I mean, but that's the first rational explanation I've heard about how the city is still continuing to go.
Yeah.
In other words, so it's attracting high earners. And that's driving it up more.
Sure.
And so really, we're going to be like Manhattan soon?
Yeah, I mean, I think the go-to sort of excuse has always been, well, we have low interest rates, and certainly that's a part of it. But the bigger picture is the fact that we've got all these great industries here, and public sector, of course, is another one.
So, Mark, if you're determined, if you're a buyer, first-time buyer, and you're determined to be in Toronto, what you're telling me and telling our viewers is that there's no better time than now to jump in because it's not going to get any worse.
Right. You know,
the prices are not going to fall.
I always say that, you know, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. That's kind of my go-to thing.
Yes.
But, you know, the reality is that you need to get into the market. And if you can't afford a home, people are looking at condos. And I'm looking at, you know, in the downtown core, that sort of sweet spot, $600,000 to $700,000 range, where people were hoping to buy a home are now looking at buying condos as an alternative. And that's driving the condo market up.
But well, that also says something about the condo market, but there's also condos that are family condos now.
That's right, yeah, and those are condos that are typically not in the downtown core, but they're in neighborhoods like Roncesvalles or Leslieville, that sort of thing.
It's a hot city, great city. Mark McLean, thanks very much for joining us today. And just remember, for more information, you can visit CP24.com, TREB.
This CP24 segment is brought to you in part by the Toronto Real Estate Board.
Okay, so that's